Hello again, fight fans. I am Jason BURGOS for Sherdog.com, and I have the pleasure of being joined by a man in the midst of an 8-fight win streak. And not like 8 fights through multiple organizations, no, 8 straight in the UFC. He is now a man that can clearly count Ariel Helwani as an admirer of his work, and as he currently holds the number 3 spot in the UFC's welterweight division, and that man is known as Rocky, aka Leon Edwards. Mr. Edwards, sir, thank you for the time today.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Now, I have a whole bunch of questions for you, so I don't want to take too much time. I know you're busy these days. Now,
Yeah.
of course, we are all well aware of the Twitter skirmish with Gilbert Burns after 251, but I wanted to talk about the source of the issue and why ESPN analyst Ariel Helwani got some heat from Burns and his management after that, and that's over reminding folks you were offered the title fight with Kamaru Usman when the Masvidal negotiations fell through. However, you had to turn that opportunity down. Explain for the folks the specifics on why you had to turn that down, the restrictions and such over in the UK, because of course the haters will just say, oh, well, other dudes are training during the pandemic, so, tell the world the difficulties of the situation.
Exactly. So I did like over this training, but like the states have been opened up for however long now, like months. You know what I mean? And in the UK, we're still locked down. The government came out last week and said on the 25th the gyms will be back open. You know what I mean? And so I haven't trained martial arts now properly since March. So it would have been unfair now for me to on 3 weeks' notice to go out there and to fight for a world title. You know what I mean? Especially like with a heavy wrestling game like Usman's. I would have liked to prepare properly. Because the first time I fought him, when I was 21, 22 years old, I kind of went away from my camp, and my camp didn't go well. You know what I mean? And so that's one of the main reasons, really. The UFC came to me, they asked me, could you do it? I spoke to my management team, I spoke to my training partners, my coaches, and just impossible. There's no gyms to train at, nowhere to go train. No training partners, so. Yeah, just that's it really. Just couldn't get it done.
Now, some people may ask then, why not maybe go with your gym, your closest, training partners and coach, maybe go to another country in Europe, maybe come to the US. Why was that not an option? Was there travel restrictions also that really didn't even make that possible?
Well, at the time, there was still, you couldn't fly to other countries, right, at the time, when after the fight. Since then, though, they opened up like Spain and places like that you can go to without quarantining. But apart from that, yeah, you couldn't fly nowhere, to be fair. So yeah, that's what it is. Stuck in the UK, there's no gyms, and I just couldn't do it.
Now, on his weekly podcast with Daniel Cormier, Ariel said this about you: the disrespect that Leon Edwards has to endure over the past year is really disgusting. Just because he doesn't puff his chest out, just because he doesn't have a manager writing his tweets, just because he doesn't go out there and endear himself to all the media doesn't mean this guy shouldn't be fighting for the title. This man has won 8 in a row. Now, I know the relationship between athletes and media isn't always good, but what are your thoughts that someone in the media like Helwani that is coming to your defense, making the case for you, while someone like Daniel Cormier is calling him stupid for even bringing up the idea of like a number 1 contenders fight with Burns? What are your thoughts on that? Does that shock you, getting more support
really,
from media?
Not really. Errol's a smart man, you know what I mean? He knows what he's talking. So when I seen it, I thought he knows what he's talking about. Like in the UFC, they have very short memory, right? Just one person wins, like, he's the greatest, he's the best of all time, he needs to fight for the title, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So they got very short memory, and there's no way a guy coming up from lightweight that got knocked out at lightweight on a 4-fight win streak can overtake me for the title shot. You know what I mean? I'm on an 8-fight win streak. Been working years to get to this position, and there's no way that guy. And like I said, all the guys beat really is Woodley that I would have beat anyway. So, yeah, that's it. I just can't see how they can even say that Burns deserve it over me.
What are your thoughts of someone like Cormier saying Ariel's stupid for even bringing up the idea of even a contenders fight and kind of dismissing you as a legitimate contender?
Like you said, they all got short memory, right? And so that's just it. I don't really care much what Cormier got to say, but they all got short memory. But I'll prove my case time and time again, and just keep denying me. I'll keep proving my case.
for your detractors, they will say being out of action since July hurts your case. And I myself am a big believer in activity helps with opportunities, but that isn't also to say 8-fight winning streak, beating some top names. That's legitimate. For the people that feel you shouldn't get a title eliminator at least because of inactivity, what do you say to them?
I couldn't give a shit what people say. I was meant to fight in March, like right? I was meant to headline London with Woodley. Obviously the COVID hit, out of control. The fight got cancelled. So yes, there was nothing I could do. If it was like nothing, if it was like injured or the world was like running normally and it's up to me, well, I'm not fighting, then I could understand, right? But it's like a virus that the whole world is suffering from, and there's nothing I could do. Like I cannot change it. You know what I mean? I've tried my hardest to keep training to try to get a fight done, but it just can't get done. I'm in a country where we're still basically locked down. You know what I mean? And the gyms ain't open yet, and that's not I cannot change that. You know what I mean? So I'll keep doing my thing, keep focusing on me, keep chipping away. And like I said, they cannot deny winners. I'll just keep doing my thing.
Now, it isn't clear when Usman will return. He didn't seem to get too banged up against Masvidal, so it could be sooner. And maybe he wants to take some time off or something like that. In your mind, is a fight with you and Gilbert Burns the one that needs to happen next to just end any debate and clearly define like the pecking order at the top of the division?
Yeah, Gilbert. If they come to me and said, "Gil, I prefer Masvidal probably. He's the bigger fight. We got history together, so that's probably the fight I'll push for." But if they come to me with Gilbert and say, "Oh, you fight with Gilbert, you can fight for the title," then I'll consider it, right? But if it's like fight Gilbert, but we don't know whether or not you get a title shot, I wouldn't even consider it. You know what I mean? So it depends what deal they come with and what they're saying.
Now, I'm definitely going to ask about Masvidal too, but before I get to that, you have not fought now close to a year. Like you talked about the fights that got knocked off in London and stuff like that, with the last one being that one, which comes on the heels of like the 8-fight winning streak, like I mentioned. This is by far the longest streak you have had in between fights. How frustrating has this last year been for you not to get to compete, to get like put on pause during the hottest point in your career, and also has not being able to earn money for the world-class talent you have? Has that been difficult financially for you?
Financially, not really, because I kind of like save my money good. You know what I mean? So, as far as like I'm a career-wise, it's annoying. I'm 28 years old. I'm fit. I'm not injured, and have like a year gone by without me competing. It's annoying. You know what I mean? And it's frustrating. But like I said, COVID hit. Nothing I could do about it. I wish it didn't hit, and I could stay active and fight for the bout this year. But nothing I could do, like I said, and it is what it is. It's much easier to like handle a thing because it's under control, I think. So that's probably why it's more easier to handle it. Because like nothing to do about it.
The way things are with the UFC, and since Gilbert is in a strong position with them, he likely will probably get the fight with Usman next. Dana White has already kind of said as much in a press conference recently. So that still leaves you in the position to aim for that matchup that either solidifies you as the next guy, or maybe the big fight, or maybe kind of something that's a little bit of both. So I wanted to go through some possible names and gauge your interest in them. After his last two performances, does a matchup with Tyron Woodley still interest you? Because, of course, if you beat him now, the haters are just going to say, well, Kamara and Gilbert beat him already.
Exactly. He's like, not at the moment. No, he's lost 10 out of 10 rounds in his last two fights. You know what I mean? So, like I said, if I got there now and beat him, they'll be like, he's washed up. Burns already beat him. Kamara, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So, I think that's like a no-win fight. And like I said, number one will be Masvidal. Number two, Gilbert. Number three, Colby. Number four, Woodley. Obviously, champion is number one, but
do you think, and I was going to ask you about Masvidal, do you think, one, because so many factors now affect his fight booking, it isn't just like rankings anymore because he seems to be a pay-per-view draw. One, do you think the UFC will even put you in a fight with their new golden goose? And two, do you think Jorge would even take that fight? You're a striker primarily, you're not a wrestler type, so it should be a fight that he should want, and the beef, like you mentioned earlier, is already built in.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, we both don't like each other. The beef's already built in, and I know he mentioned my name after the fight. That's the first time he's ever mentioned my name. You know what I mean? So he'd be interested in the fight. I feel that if he wants to way back to the title, I think he has to beat people like me to get back to the title. You know what I mean? You can't go fight with lightweights and then demand a title shot. You know what I mean? So I feel he has to beat people like me, and so hopefully he takes it, and I'll be ready to go.
Is part of your negotiation sticking point the BMF title has to be on the line, or you don't care about it?
Nah, I give a shit about it too. My aim is at world title. Give me that gold belt and everything else, and pay me. That's it. I don't care about nothing else.
Now, the other one I was going to mention also was Colby. You mentioned that too. I mean, that fight seems like the obvious one, number 2 versus number 3, if these other ones can't work out. Do you think Colby will take that fight? You know, it's a difficult matchup for him. It's a difficult match for you. Do you think he'll take that fight?
I don't know. Colby's like a weird one, right? He's very, I don't know. It's hard to read him. He's a weird person, so yeah. I don't know. Like I said, just tell me who we're going to beat to get to the title, right? That's my aim. Just tell me, point me in the direction. What we're gonna beat, where, and I'll handle it from there. And so that's what I want to say. Just tell me who, tell me when, and I'll go from there.
Now that's interesting because you mentioned the 4 main ones you're most interested in. They all make sense. They all get you to where you want to be. But a name I had thought of, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to think of too, and you're saying, just give me the name. What about someone like Wonder Boy? I mean, that's a dangerous fight in that he's ranked lower than you, which is risky. It could be a lose-lose for you. He's a tough puzzle for anybody. Would a fight like that, going down to fight someone with a name, interest you or not at all?
Nah, not at all. Not at all. He's not topped by pace like in last 2 fights ago. And do you think if I beat Wonder Boy, I get a title shot?
Probably not.
So, let's say I go back and fight Wonder Boy. I'm going to fight like another fight again to get a title shot. You know what I mean? 10 fights in a row to get a title shot. I think that's probably be the most. You know what I mean? So, nah, it has to be, like I said, number 1 is a champion. If not, then Masvidal, then Burns. That's my top 3 picks.